Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakah, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops of GMS who rule well and who teach well. And salutations to the whole elect brethren that are out there the four corners of the globe, pushing His truth and all truth and sincerity and the strength of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Pre-Chicago, GMS, Arkansas, reading this cyber news. It talks about UK to relaunch digital ID scheme. King speak confirmed King Charles. Okay. It says the UK government will relaunch a conversational digital ID program as a voluntary scheme according to the King's speech delivered by King Charles III at the state opening of Parliament on Wednesday. It says my ministers will also proceed with the introduction of the digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services, digital access to digital bill, the King outlining the government lawmaking agenda. The King's speech and the centuries-old tradition marking the start of a new parliamentary session is written by the ministers and read by the monarchy of the House of Lords. It typically confirms policies that are already in motion rather than introducing new proposals. Okay. According to the headline measures, it was confirmed that the legislation will proceed on digital identity despite a recent government U-turn. Originally pitched as a tool to crack down on illegal working, the scheme will no longer be mandatory for right-to-work checks. So you see they're trying to say we need this particular system to crack down on illegals who probably be working and this and that. But you got to remember this RFID scheme is a scheme that Esau has to play out. His schemes has to be the things that destroy him. This is going to be the major thing that destroys him along with the undesirables of our nation. Okay? Because when you launch a digital ID, it's dealing with tracking. So how are you going to track all this? You're going to have to insert a physical tracking device. And they're trying to say it's voluntary, right? You see how they're trying to say, oh, it's voluntary, confirmed, voluntary, or whatever. No, man, when you read Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. When it say he calls it all, both small and great. See, calls it, you look up the word calls it 4160, poel, to make, with names of things made, to produce or construct, form or fashion, i.e. So they're producing these particular RFID chips, and they have one probably for each person on the planet. I know they do. Okay, when it says it calls it, mean they're going to basically, they're trying to say that it's volunteer basis only. You see that? But no, what they're doing is they're going to make the situation in the world so hard. They're going to make you go towards getting it. That's the whole scheme. They're going to basically force you to take this through the legislation and through them controlling all the finances of the world and them controlling the trucks that run the foods, controlling the airlines and the ships that can run the waters. They're controlling all this. So they're going to make that pressure from above and pressure from beneath when it shows up, the time of Jacob's trouble. That's that they're going to be, I already got this answer for your solutions. Okay? It don't matter your social class. It's not going to matter Your economic class is not gonna matter whether you're free or in jail. That's why I say small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. To receive, meaning you're going to basically be forced to take a mark, which is charagma, right? It's charagma, a stamp or a seal or a palisade, you know what I'm saying? So basically, they are going to put this stamp or this chip in you, and you're going to be a volunteer slave, so to speak. Back in the Roman days, in the ancient world, when you saw any kind of stamping or putting approval on or something, it was normally like a slave. People would be servants and shit, you know. Let me see. It's Exodus 13. What it say? Thou shalt be for a sign, 13, and upon thy hand. It says, let me put this word in there. Exodus 21 and 6. Exodus 21 and 6. It says, Then his master shall bring him into the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. You see that? An awl, it will, if you want to serve your master forever. Deuteronomy 15:17. Then shall he take an awl and thrust it. It was like an awl was like a piece of wood. They would drive it through your ear with like a hammer. And you see people now, when they get those earrings, they stick that wood in there because their ear is not really ready. So they would remember back in the day, they would stick a straw in there so the hole in your ear would stay open so you could receive that bigger oil in there. Man, this is like, and it was proven, the scriptures prove this is how you wouldn't want to stay with your master. Will prove that your brand is Mr. Thompson, or your brand is Sir Lord Williams, or your brand is Sir Lord Stratton, or whatever. That would be the brand they put on you, just like when they brand cows. A certain number is on that cow, or maybe an initial and a last four of a social security number. It's branded on that cow, meaning it belonged to Mr. Jones, that cattle. Okay? That's the same way. It's the same way it is here in America when you're born and you're given a ID, or you're given these certain birth certificates. These are warehouse receipts, and your name is in caps. So it's showing that you belong to the United States of America. You don't even belong to your own parents. You belong to the corporation of the United States of America. Okay. And it says UK ID schemes now voluntary. Under the new schemes, the government is positioning it as an optional tool for those without traditional identification, such as passports or driver's license. See, they lying to you. Now they lying. They definitely scheming. You're talking about voluntary. Man, this is the devil, bro. Okay, you got to look at it like when you first go in this particular part, this part right here, from the first part talked about the system. That beast was the beast from the sea. You see that? They stood a beast out of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon those 10 horns and upon his heads with the name of blasphemy. This is like the government, the political part, that beast. You know what I mean? Like this part right here, when we get down here, the beast from the earth, it's the one that supports the beast from the sea. So this false prophet is supporting that political movement of that government, of that system. And they're trying to get you to basically buy into that system, man. That's what's going on. So yeah, man, Prince Charles and laid it out to them folks over there in England. And they docile folks anyway, so they're gonna be stepping up to take it, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is a part of that Jacob's troubles, part of the things we got to go through in order to receive the kingdom of heaven. Man, so, hey, just sit back, watch how this devil work, watch how the Most High is making this devil work to bring his society to an end. So with that, man, call Allah Milah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Wahara Kakudash, Shalom.